Hi everyone, I'm Shauna Yao at TotalGenius.net. And if you are a creative entrepreneur, a blogger, and you have a ton of genius ideas and you can't seem to get them into a simple message, and when you go and you do things, you tend to complicate things a little bit, then this one is for you. Because today we're going to talk about clarity, and particularly I want to give you the tools to do it here on Instagram, because that's where we are. And this is where I find that a lot of people are struggling, is that you're pretty much, my business is called Total Genius. So you're pretty much a smart cookie, and I just called you a cookie. And you have so many ideas in your head, and sometimes a lot of ideas are really great. But if you can't clarify them, and sometimes you complicate them, then what's happening there is that there's something such as having an umbrella. So rather than saying I want to put you in a box, what I actually want to do is put an umbrella over everything it is that you do, so that then when you go and you do the things I'm going to tell you, some little hints on mastering Instagram, those things will be way more effective in the way not only that they come out of you, but then the results that you get back. I kind of use Instagram as a vision planner because we are all visual people. I think it's something like 85% I think it's 85% of human thought. We all perceive things visually. That's why Instagram is the bomb.com and Facebook is kind of losing it right now. We all see things visually. And so when you can communicate visually and then also add in the verbal communication, not only is it effective for other people, but it's a kind of tool that, especially as a creative, you can picture what it is that you're going to do in your mind, and then it creates the roadmap. Because I find that a lot of creative entrepreneurs do things in their minds, whereas then when you go and you try to write them down on paper, it's just complicated. So let's start with the number one thing, and the number one thing is the vision. The thing that I call it, the thing behind the thing. Most people struggle with the big vision, the vision behind why it is that you do what you do. So what I find is that most people go after what it is they want to do, or what it is that they do. I'm a cook, I'm a chef, I'm a strategist, I'm a this. And those things are super important. But then when you go and you try to put it into a business or a message, those things make you just like everybody else. And I know you're not just like everybody else. This is why everybody talks about your why. And your why is, I'm doing it because of my children. It's not that. That is a good why, but that's not actually your why. Your why is something deeper that is, I call it the emotional driver behind everything that you do. So my why is I really want to help people stop beating themselves up in their head, to stop drowning in doubt and self-doubt, and stop trying to prove something to other people, because I want people to know that you're a genius and you were born a genius, and the ideas that you have, they're perfect. And why I want to do that is because when I was 5, my neighbor called me Chink every day when I'd walk to school, and I spent my entire life not wanting to be myself, and having a self-doubt that plagued me even in my successes. It made me so that I never fully enjoyed being successful. And so that's my why. And so your why is something really deep. And I'm not going to get into like the tiny details, but when you can figure out that vision, that why you do what you do, that's what everyone calls purpose. And that drives everything down to mastering Instagram. So once you have the emotional drive, then what you need to understand is that the people who get you, your audience, the people who are going to follow you, have that same emotional drive. So people talk about your target market, but the truth is that target market, they're not like some demographic, a certain age or a certain lifestyle. They have the same why. It's that same emotional drive for why it is they do what they do. That's how you solve their problem, because you're you. So when you have that, then look at your Instagram bio. So the one thing, I call this your brand story. It's not just what you do. Whatever it is, I see everybody, they just have what they do. But if you don't have the emotional driver, Instagram is it's a social app. So understanding the emotion behind it, it's not just that you're a dog mom. There needs to be something more emotional to it. So I have an article linked in my bio that you can read about how to get that the emotional drive and what it is that you do together into your bio. But it's a combination of your strengths, talents, and life experience, all put into one. For those of you that are just joining, we're talking about how to put your vision and your message and find clarity in what you do through Instagram and mastering Instagram. So number 2 is your aesthetic. So your aesthetic, this is where a lot of people just are confused. Your aesthetic is actually how the 12 photos on your Instagram page look together. And as a creative, you can think of it as your brand colors. So like I said, like 85% of people see things visually. So when somebody comes to your page and when you go to your page, it should resonate strongly with you. And to do that, you have to simplify it into 2 to 3 main colors. Now, does that mean that you can only have 2 to 3 colors on that entire page? No, but 2 to 3 main colors that are your base. So if you see my page, it has a lot of white in it, because white is my whole apartment's white. Like everything I have, 95% of my clothes are white because I really love the color white. So my Instagram feed, my aesthetic is very white and light. So I have an eclectic Instagram aesthetic. Some people, they have a pink aesthetic. You have to understand what colors resonate with you. And I'd like to look at it like what colors actually look good with you, because your picture has to be on there. So think of it as picking 2 to 3 colors that resonate with you. That's your aesthetic. And making sure those 12 photos look like, if there was a magazine of you, what would that magazine be composed of? So those things are the core of who you are and what you do, what you want to be known for. So, they should include images of you, of what it is, the type of things that you do. Like if you're a speaker, pictures of you speaking in front of people. If you are a chef or you're like somewhere in the health industry, there should be pictures of food. Like you have 12 photos to express your brand story out loud in a cohesive aesthetic. So I have an article in my on my website about creating an eclectic, cohesive aesthetic. If you want it, you can DM me, and I'll send you the link. Then, if you look at your 12 photos, really, this is where you can find the most clarity in your vision and your message. Is if you look at the 12 photos, they should represent what it is that it's like a vision board. Like you've heard of people, creating a vision board that they look at, that's their goals. Your Instagram and your Instagram page should be like a vision board for your business. I mean, as an entrepreneur, whatever it is that you're going for, you can't it's not I want to be, or I'm a student learning this. what is it that your end goal is, and you should position your Instagram to be from that goal. Because the truth is that you have to go to it every day, and you have to act as if. You don't want a business. If you are an entrepreneur, then you have a company. Start telling people, I have a company. And what will end up happening is that you will start to believe whatever it is that you represent. You can't sit there and say, I'm just beginning, I'm just learning. This is stepping into the role of a boss. And yeah, you know what? It may feel a little fearful and uncomfortable, but when you do it, it's actually very freeing because you are meant to be up there. You've achieved success in the past. And this is just about stepping into a new role of being the boss of your company. The last thing are your brand words. So really finding clarity in your brand and in your message is about, you can make it and simplify it into 3 words. What 3 words represent who you are? Do you want your page to be inspiring? And this is like who you are to other people when they come to it. Do you want your page to be inspiring? Is it supposed to communicate strategy, or is it something that is healthy? What words do you assign to 3 words, or you can maybe do 5, that represent you, so that the umbrella that I talked about in the beginning, the 3 to 5 words that represent your brand story, this helps you really clarify it from a thinking phase to an actual verbal phrase, so that then you can plan it out visually. When you can hit those different areas of your senses, then you can speak it more clearly, communicate it more clearly, and then when you open your social media, you'll be able to understand what it is that you need to do, and what people need to see from you. That's about clarity in your brand story. So anyway, I hope that's helped you. I actually have a link in my bio. I added Linktree today back in, and at the top link is how to tell your brand story on Instagram. So I have more tips there. DM me if you need help. I'm a brand strategist, and I help creative entrepreneurs because I understand you, because I am you. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Be sure to DM me, come introduce yourself, and tell me what you're all about. I'll talk to you later. Bye.